Apple is quietly testing the biggest iPhone screen it has ever built, and it might land on the 20th anniversary model. A new leak points to a 7-inch display on the iPhone 20 Pro Max. That would be the largest screen Apple has ever put on a phone. In this video, I will break down what the leak actually says, why the 7-inch number is a little bit of a trick, and the other big changes that matter far more than the size. Let me start with where this came from. A supply chain tipster called Digital Chat Station posted the claim on the Chinese social site Weibo. This is a leaker with a decent track record on Apple rumors, so it is worth taking seriously. The screen is not really 7 inches. The prototype measures 6.96 inches across. Apple would round that up and market it as a full 7-inch phone. But the real jump is tiny. Think about it this way. The current iPhone 17 Pro Max already has a 6.9-inch screen. 6.96 inches is only about 0.06 inches more. That works out to roughly 2% more screen area. So this is not a giant new phone in your hand. So where does the extra space come from? The leaker says the prototype keeps the same shape and the same aspect ratio as the current Pro Max. That means Apple is not making the phone taller or wider. Instead, it is shaving the black borders around the screen even thinner. Less bezel, not a bigger body. And that leads to the more interesting rumor. Apple has been working on a display that curves around all 4 sides. Picture a screen that bends gently over every edge. From the front, the phone would look almost borderless, even though the actual size barely changed. It is a look more than a measurement. For a little context, this would not be brand new ground. Android brands already sell big flagships in the 6.7 to 6.9 inch range. Xiaomi just launched a phone with a 7-inch panel. So, in a way, Apple would be catching up here, not leading. Now here is my honest take. The screen size is grabbing all the headlines, but it is the least exciting thing about this phone. The rest of the rumored feature list is where things get wild. Start with the buttons. Apple is reportedly moving to solid-state buttons. That means the volume and power keys would have no moving parts at all. You press the surface, and a tiny motor buzzes to fake the feeling of a click. It is the same idea Apple already uses in the MacBook trackpad. Apple has been chasing this for years, and it keeps backing out. This time, a leaker claims the company finished its stress tests. That includes gloves, wet hands, extreme temperatures, and pressing through a case. There is even talk of a special low-power chip that keeps the buttons working when the phone is completely dead. Next is the front of the phone. Apple is expected to hide the Face ID sensors and the front camera under the screen. If that happens, the dynamic island finally goes away. To pull this off, Apple would use a Tandem OLED panel. That is a dual-layer screen, the same kind already inside the 2024 iPad Pro. It is brighter and more power efficient, and it can hide sensors underneath. Some reports go even further and say Apple might move the sound under the display too, getting rid of the earpiece slot entirely. If all of that lands, the whole front of the phone becomes one clean sheet of glass. There is also talk of tougher glass being called Ceramic Shield Ultra. The claim is that it resists scratches even in a pocket full of keys. That is a bold promise, and Apple upgrades its glass almost every year, so treat it with a bit of doubt. But the goal is clear. Apple wants to sell a phone you do not feel the need to hide inside a case. If this all sounds familiar, that is on purpose. Apple has run this exact play before. Back in 2017, the iPhone X marked the 10th birthday by dropping the home button, switching to OLED, and adding Face ID. Those changes then spread to every iPhone after it. The iPhone 20 looks aimed at the same kind of reset: curved edges, hidden sensors, no physical buttons. If this design sticks, you are likely looking at the blueprint for every iPhone from 2027 onward. But Apple has a new problem it did not have in 2017. It is also launching a folding iPhone with a 7.7-inch inner screen. So by the middle of 2027, Apple could be selling 2 phones in the 7-inch range. One that folds and one that does not. The regular slab phone has to earn its place, and a nearly borderless, buttonless design is how Apple seems to be doing that. Now for the part nobody likes to talk about: the price. On the same day these display leaks appeared, Nikkei Asia reported that TSMC, the company that makes Apple's chips, will raise prices by 5 to 10% starting in 2027. That hits the iPhone 20 right in the production cost. Apple already raised prices across its lineup this year. and Tim Cook called some of those increases unavoidable. Stack a chip price bump on top of an ambitious anniversary phone, and the math gets tense. Do not be shocked if the iPhone 20 Pro Max starts above $1,400. There is one more angle worth mentioning, because not everyone even wants a bigger screen. So, a lot of people buy the Pro Max for the battery, not the display. Some fans online say they would happily take a slightly thicker phone with a smaller screen and a huge battery instead of a thin, borderless giant. So Apple's push for more screen might not match what its most loyal buyers actually ask for. So should you get excited yet? I would stay calm for now. We are still more than a year away from a possible launch. Apple tests many screen sizes for every generation, and there is no promise the 7-inch panel makes the final cut. In fact, the iPhone 18 Pro Max, due this September, is expected to keep the current 6.9-inch screen. But if these leaks are even half right, then the 2027 is shaping up to be the most interesting iPhone year since the iPhone X. Bigger screen, buttonless body, invisible sensors. The anniversary edition is clearly being built to make a statement. Just be ready for the price tag that comes with it. If this kind of breakdown helps you, do me a quick favor and hit like and subscribe so you never miss the next leak. That is the 7-inch iPhone story for now. I already covered the folding iPhone and its price in my last video, so go check that one out. If you want to know more, click it right now, and I will meet you there.